Welcome to another wonderful episode of Write and Shine, shining through your story series. I want to say words as well, but it's more storytelling. And I must say, wonderful before we even kick off with this incredible guest, because it is all about the people joining me here, sharing their stories. Please, will you introduce yourself? And just thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me. My name is Vitelle. I'm an actress, model, entertainer, author, director, producer, founder of Us Three Productions. I wear a lot of hats and I do a lot of things, but I'm so grateful to be here today to share my story on your podcast.
I just love connecting with creativity. And also, when creativity and purpose meets, something incredible happens. Please share with us, your backstory of what happened. Why are you sharing your message of hope?
So I like to say that I'm sort of the poster child for trauma or traumatic experiences. I have been through a lot of traumatic experiences in my life since childhood, all the way through it. And I learned the unique skill of experiencing the story from an outside point of view. So seeing my own situation and circumstances as it was happening and saying, this is a movie, this is a book. I couldn't even make this up myself, and being able to get through those tough times by writing my story as it's happening. And then once
Wow.
I got to the point where I was healed enough to be able to share my story, I started sharing it and started using my gifts and talents of writing and acting. And I started sharing it on the stage. I wrote a book. Here's my book, I Am a Poetic Ensemble. And just sharing every experience that I've gone through with others. And I was so surprised at how so many people could relate. The testimony was my testimony was their testimony, even though when I was going through it, I was feeling so alone, like nobody could relate to this. And so ever since I started just sharing my story, so many people can relate. So many people have been helped by it, especially the people dealing with depression and suicidal ideation. I went through all of that through the circumstances that I was dealing with. And so just being able to help other people now makes every experience that I've been through so much worth it.
That is incredible. And I just resonate with you so much because that's also something I've learned to do. And I think we've got two poster children here for trauma. And it's
Right.
really something, if you don't deal, I actually also wrote a book this year about trauma healing, found in the aftermath. And it is incredible when you put paper or even, you with poems. I just love it because it has to get out. And
Yeah.
our listeners today, how would you recommend if they think they're not a writer or they're not a creative? Like what encouragement would you give them?
It's so funny because one of the things that helped me was seeing so many people who were doing plays and were writing books that, not to knock anyone, but I just didn't feel as though they were great. And so sometimes it really actually helps you to see, like, okay, if they can do it, I know I can do it.
Exactly.
So you can't look at, the talent or how skilled you think you are and base whether or not you do it on that. Like someone needs to hear your story regardless of how you put it together, and someone needs to hear it in the way that you put it together. I personally needed to see someone's play that wasn't
Yes.
that great so that I could believe I could do it. So if they hadn't have done it at all, if they had have thought, oh, my show isn't that great, or, if they didn't have the confidence to do it anyway, then I wouldn't have been inspired to go ahead and do what I'm doing. So we need people at every skill set, every skill level, no matter what that looks like. So I just think it's so important that you just do it scared. There's always going to be that nervousness and that fear that comes along with tell your story, especially when it's your personal story. But, do it anyway because someone needs it. And once I understood that, like now I just tell it. Like
I
I
love
don't have
it.
any hesitation anymore because I know how important it is. So that's what I would tell someone else is just realize how truly important your story is, no matter, even if you think that no one can relate to it at all, you would be
Yes.
surprised. And someone needs your story.
I love that so much. It sounds like me talking. I always say that as well. Someone is waiting on the other side of you being brave to share it. And I also use the narrative of we're like all like rock stars. We're all singers. Whether you're country music, whether you're pop, whatever your vibe is, the right people will resonate to your rhythms and to your words. What type of singer are you?
Oh, that is a good question. I've never been asked that. You know what? Wow, I've never thought about it like that. But honestly, I would say I'm a little bit of everything. Growing
Good.
up, I used to have a serious issue with my skin color. Being raised in a black family from a black mother, I only knew black. And growing up, realizing that my biological father is actually white, and all the experience that I had with that, I didn't love myself. I actually
Yes.
hated the fact that I was mixed. And so, coming from that and now realizing that the way that I am is so beneficial to me, like so many people can relate to me from
Yeah.
all different races and cultures and backgrounds. And so when you ask me what my song is or what my genre of music is, I feel like I was created to speak all of them.
Love
And
it.
I'm so grateful for that, whether we're talking physically, me
Yes.
myself physically, or even just all my experiences and learning and having gone through, I used to ask like, why am I going through
Yes.
all of this? Like, have I not been through enough? Like,
Hmm.
is not enough yet? But then every time I experienced a new experience, good or bad, I said, you know what, this is a part of it. Like, I need to have all of these skill sets. I need to have all of these experiences so that I can speak all the languages of the world. And I don't think a single person could not relate to me in some way, especially when it comes to my show Nine Lives that I'm on tour with right now. It's all about my story. It's my
Mhm.
story on stage. And so I haven't had anyone leave that show without seeing themselves or someone that they know in there in some way. So seeing that, I'm just so grateful. Like, wow, it makes so much sense now in hindsight of why I've had all these experiences and why I am the way I am. I can sing all the songs and all the languages and all the genres. So yeah.
I love that so much. And it really is, our pain becomes our purpose. So I'm just so delighted that you've embraced that part as well of your story. And for someone going through a very tough season at the moment, what advice would you give them?
Oh man, I have so much advice because I mean that's all I do is give advice to people going through storms and pain. But I think that my number one advice that always comes to mind is just remembering that it's temporary. A lot of times we make the mistake of making decisions like that often are permanent decisions based on a temporary emotion. So understanding that whatever season you're going through right now, it's just that it's a season. So winter is going to pass, summer is going to come and go, and just sometimes you just got to wait it out. Sometimes there's things that you can do throughout that season to make things better, and sometimes you just have to rest. Sometimes that's just God telling you to relax. I got this. Learn how to trust me.
Yes.
Every season that we go through it, there's something that I know we're supposed to get out of it. So just being able to sit back and say, you know what, I can't do anything about this right now, but what can I get out of this? What can I learn from this moment in time? And just, being sure not to make those permanent decisions. I've been suicidal. I've been there, and I know that can feel like the only solution to your problems when you have so many of them piled up. But just knowing, what, this problem's going to pass, this problem's going to get resolved, whether I resolve it or not. I look at it like a cold. You catch a cold, nobody has a cold forever.
Yes,
Some of
yes.
them are longer than others, but at some point that cold is going to pass, whether you take medication to get better faster or get more rest or whatever you need to do during that time, because your body needs to get better. And it's the same thing with your mind and your emotional health too. You just got to give yourself time to heal and trust that at some point you will be healed.
You are very, very wise. And I actually recently went through empty nest. My son left the house and I moved, and it was quite traumatic. I'm not going to lie. A lot of things. But what I've learned as well to add with what you said is to keep a type of routine. That really helped me so much. Like I literally moved 2 weeks ago and I feel grounded. Still crying a lot. I still miss him. I'm not gonna lie, but it's definitely it helps with the adjustment after that cold. I love that you say it's like
Exactly. I'm a visual person, so I have to put
I'm
like a visual
the
description to everything that I describe.
same.
Absolutely. Definitely a cold.
Yeah, definitely. But definitely what I also see is a type of routine in your support system, and I also want to ask you if you see someone going through a tough time. I mean, this is the festive season. A lot of people are feeling very down. I'm seeing a lot of posts of people missing people, in their lives that they lost. What advice can you give our listeners that wants to support someone in this time?
So for the people who want to be that support system or want to
Yes.
support someone, I mean, it's kind of the same advice. I advise you to do it, as I tell people all the time, like I'm always asking people to help me share, help me tag people and all these things because
Yes.
I know that what I'm saying is important to somebody and I don't know who I might help, but it's up to that person that's watching or listening or watching behind the scenes on live. Hint, hint, it's up to
Yes,
them to
yes.
share it with somebody else and not to hesitate in doing that because you may think, oh, it's no big deal, but someone else is going through something and you may or may not know what they're going through, but they're depending on you just to share, just to share that
Yes.
information. So just showing up for people, sometimes just putting a smile on your face and just being happy makes a world of difference in someone's life because you never know what someone's going through. And like you said, especially this time of the year.
Definitely. And how can we reach you or buy your book? Tell us more about that.
Yes, so I have a world tour going on right now that's coming
Nice.
up starting January 2025. I have 9 different cities. I'm going to show you guys this poster here. This is my show, Nine Lives.
Amazing.
I play all these different characters. It's a one-woman show based on my book, I Am a Poetic Ensemble. And so you can get tickets to the show, or you can get my book, or you can do both. My VIP, people who get VIP tickets to my show always get free books from me as well. So you guys can go to vitelle.net. That's Vitelle.net. Vitelle.net is the best way to get access to the book, the show tickets. Follow me on social media. Everything is all right there in one place. Also, if you want to really support and stay in the loop, you can text me. That number is 770-626-5075. You can shoot me a text message. You can text the word casting if you'd like to be considered as an actor for future shows. You can also just say, hey, and add me to your list so that I can keep you in the loop with what's coming up in my world.
That is just so exciting. I have to ask you, what is the vision? What is your dream for your work?
Oh man. So that question is so I don't want to say it's difficult to answer. It's just that I'm doing it every day. So,
Yes.
I guess as I'm doing it, I just keep dreaming bigger
Yes,
on a
yes.
bigger scale all the time. Yeah. So it's like I've gotten out of the habit because I felt like I was dreaming so much. I was living a life that I didn't want. And then I was dreaming of this other life. And so I dreamed to the point that it felt impossible to get to this other life. And I'm constantly living this life, wanting this life. So I don't do that anymore. I
Yes.
just live the life that I want and
Love
I do
it.
it on purpose. And then I just expect it to get bigger and better and easier and just everything continue to be great and grow. So I definitely see with the show and multiple books, multiple shows going on a global scale. We just kind of hit global. So just
Incredible.
touching so many lives and I feel like we're making history right now, the way that we're touching the world in a way that hasn't been done before. So I'm just looking forward. I'm just along for the ride, girl. I'm just on the journey.
That is just incredible, Vital. Thank you so, so, so much for joining me today, for your incredible vision of hope and, just your wisdom installed also for our listeners possibly going through trauma or healing as well, as it's never just like this. It takes time to heal. Is there anything you would like to share with us still before we end our episode? Anything in your heart that you would like to share with us?
Absolutely. I'll just piggyback off of what you said. It does take time to heal. Even when I started writing my book, even when I started doing my show, I was not fully healed. Healing is a process. It's not something that happens overnight. It's not something that even happens in years sometimes. It's just a constant ongoing journey in our lives. And so just allow yourself time to heal. Take it one step at a time and know that it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. So just enjoy it, every moment of it, and continue to heal and allow yourself grace and grow.
Love that so much. Thank you again for the honor of being here. I hope to see you again in more episodes to come and enjoy your world tour.
Thank you so much for having me, and same to you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. And just this incredible human next to me, Vitelle, reminding us that your past does not define you. It can actually propel you into your destiny of creativity, of self acceptance, of an inspiration. And I do really want to encourage you, if you tuned in, please support her, please join the movement of healing, as it's never just done. And it comes from such a place of love and authenticity. Keep on writing, keep on shining, and keep on loving yourself.
Just watch me shine.